and welcome to our first ever Battle at the Cinema. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and
this is the random dude, Josh.
And today we're going to be talking about movie news,
Yeah, exactly.
That. We are going to be talking about
all things movies.
All things movies, things that you need to know. We're going to be looking at the... Man, see, my hand is like off screen. That's driving me crazy. We are going to be looking at all things movies, highlighting last week's box office top performers, talking about what's coming out this week, and then we're going to be doing a little something at the end of the show that we'll talk about movies that you should be watching in your spare time. Either you don't know about or you just need to watch again. So, without that, Josh.
So,
random.
Big news. For all of you retro gamers out there, we finally are going to get a Mega Man movie.
I'm excited.
I don't think you're excited enough.
Okay, so my concern with this is we've seen gaming movies flop big time.
I don't think this is going to be as bad as Super Mario Brothers. Now,
Assassin's Creed, though?
That one was good.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet, so it's just...
Okay, so here's the big thing with this. So, the directors from the movie Catfish.
Okay.
So you've got Henry Juice and Ariel Schulman. They're still in talks on getting the concept, the script, all those key components down.
Okay.
The fact that we're getting a Mega Man movie now, especially with the technology that we have, you look at superhero movies, you look at what Marvel's doing, you look at what DC's doing, you look at actually one of the movies coming out this week. We have the ability to make this be an amazing movie.
True. Very true. Hopefully they don't, like, Hollywoodize it. I'd like to see it stay true to the game. I was a huge fan of the game.
Well, who wasn't?
Well, anyone.
If you're not a fan of the game, stop the movie, go play the game, come back, and enjoy.
You can actually get it on Xbox One.
Yes,
in
the Mega
Play
Man
Store.
Collection.
It is great. I suck. Those are harder. Those games are harder than most modern games.
Oh, absolutely.
Most modern games, they walk you through the process. If you die in Mega Man, you die.
Game over.
Yeah, literally game over. You don't get to stop and start again. It's...
Although, Mega Man was probably one of the first games to actually incorporate passwords.
That's true.
That would be a fun thing if they could incorporate that.
I think they probably would. I could see that.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Either way, we're finally getting a Mega Man movie, which, hallelujah for that. Also, on the DC Expanded Universe front, we finally get our first look at Steppenwolf.
Tell me about Steppenwolf.
So Steppenwolf, yeah, that's about how much I feel about him. So Steppenwolf, we know, is actually a peon to Apocalypse.
Okay.
So Darkseid. Darkseid.
I was
Wow.
Say, this is DC.
Marvel, DC, just kind of all blended in the head. So this is just a precursor to future Justice League movies bringing in Darkseid. We actually get our first look at Steppenwolf in the extended cut of Batman v Superman.
Do we?
Yes. So the scene, and if you haven't seen the movie, this is a spoiler, forewarning you.
If you haven't seen the movie, it's been, what, like 2 years? A year and a half?
It's been long enough, you should have seen the movie.
Yeah. So, spoiler, but it's on your head at this point.
True. So, the scene where Lex Luthor is arrested.
Yes.
And he's sitting in the pool of stuff within the Kryptonian ship.
Yeah.
The deleted scene, you see SWAT goes in, and Steppenwolf is there holding mother boxes above Lex Luthor, and then he just disappears.
Okay.
That's why Lex in jail is saying they're already coming.
Okay. That makes a little more sense.
So that was a precursor leading up to Justice League.
Okay. That makes sense.
But the toys came out, and we were able to get a really good look at what he's going to look like armored. Obviously, this is a precursor. they're not going to be releasing a whole lot. I would expect to see more come out here in the next few weeks.
Okay.
But we get to see our main villain for Justice League. All right.
Cool.
Also, for Star Wars fans, I know you're a Star Wars
I am a Star Wars fan.
The big news was being able to see Kylo Ren's ship, the TIE Silencer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. So for those of you who play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I paid a lot of money. I bought the pack.
Don't admit.
I didn't buy the pack. I had a sponsor.
You don't admit how much you paid.
I didn't pay.
He purchased it, but he won't admit how much.
But if you were playing the game at the time, you know. Anyways,
On that note,
this is a sweet ship.
It is. I'm very excited. I'm hoping with this coming out that they will incorporate that in Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh, that would be sweet. Are you going to buy the Are you going to pre-order it?
No, but I will get the game.
Okay. I think I might pre-order it.
That game's amazing.
Yeah. Number 1 was pretty sweet. I still play it from time to time.
It's true. It's good times. Good times.
When it first launched, right, when you're downloading the game for the first time, all you get to do for Battlefront 1, or I guess Battlefront, you're Vader, just going around killing rebels. It is the greatest mode. They should incorporate it.
Yeah. See, I personally like the X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
I struggle with the flights.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not in the original. I was an ace in the original 2. But in this new one, I'm terrible.
Oh.
So bad at it. Just bad.
I weep for your soul. I'm sorry.
You should.
But needless to say, Kylo Ren's ship, the TIE Silencer, if you're not excited for Star Wars, I mean, let's be honest, you better be excited. But this is just going to make it that much better.
Absolutely.
Finally, last piece of news, the Venom movie. I don't know about you, but I'm excited for this one.
Skeptically optimistic?
Look what we have to go off of. Spider-Man 3.
This is where we may... Okay, yeah. Continue, because I want to hear your thoughts here before I make a statement.
So we know that the Venom, the movie itself, will not be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
This is a given. Sorry, guys. I hate to bust your bubble. However, they are finally we are going to get a Venom movie that we've always wanted. It will be rated R. So if you have little kids, this is not going to be the movie for you. Your kids they will have nightmares if you understand the character of Venom.
Yeah, at all.
However, the news with the Venom movies, they're pulling aspects from John Carpenter movies.
Really? Okay.
And David Cronenberg.
Okay.
Now, if you guys don't know who those directors are, you may know some of their movies. Halloween, The Fog, The Thing, The Fly, a lot of the movies.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
He has this style.
You're going to get that horror aspect, which is something I'm excited for. That's what Venom has been for me.
Yeah. So I'm excited for Venom because in my mind, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man should not exist.
I blame Barry Allen for messing up the timeline. That's why we have that.
Damn you, Barry.
Damn
you ruined everything. Now, with that, I think you're right. I think they can't go any worse than Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3 has set the bar.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
But we also have Tom Hardy, who has been cast as Venom.
True, and he is phenomenal. I love Tom Hardy. I think he's going to do a good job.
He will.
Now, Venom, if I'm not mistaken, they've also said that Carnage is going to be the main villain in this? Or is that just speculation?
That's speculation. I hope that we do have Carnage. And I hope, and the actor that plays Jerome in Gotham wants, and he's been very vocal on Twitter about this, he wants to play Carnage.
That would be pretty sweet.
If you haven't seen him play as Jerome in Gotham as the Joker, you need to watch that episode because you're going to understand why he's as psychotic as he is. Carnage is insane. He is, much like the Joker, has no problem killing at all. And so to see him play as Cassidy will be fantastic if that happens.
Now, I would only be okay with that, or I'm only okay with that because Tom Hardy is opposite him.
Yep. I would be okay with that. And if they can incorporate Tom Holland in some way, kind of like what they did with Suicide Squad, where Joker did not have a big role, Batman did not have a big role in those movies. If they can do that, I think this will be a good synergy for the Spider-Man universe, opening up the door for separation anxiety.
Yeah.
Which was also an amazing game.
Yeah.
But, as far as news goes, big stuff happening.
Yep.
I mean, Mega Man.
Oh.
Mega Man.
It's going to be sweet. Gonna be sweet.
But last week's movies.
Last week's movie. Starting off the charts was War for the Planet of the Apes. This is the third installment. It did not do as well as number 2, but it still made over $56 million just this
Chump
last
change.
weekend. Yeah.
Chump change, I mean.
Yeah. Total, I mean, obviously it's just been running for 1 week, so we don't necessarily have a full-on view of how it's going to be doing, especially in the worldwide markets. I think it's going to do quite a bit better. I think it's going to be one of those that really makes a lot of money.
Spider-Man Homecoming, winning off of that. Still going strong.
Still going strong. It made $44 million this last week. I actually got to see it.
I have yet to see it, and I've been good about not seeing any. I haven't seen any spoilers.
Then I won't say anything
-1.
here.
I saw the Iron Spider suits. That's all I saw.
Okay.
But it was exciting.
Is the silence awkward enough yet?
I don't know.
I've had time to think about it. It's up there with the other Spider-Mans. Other Spider-Man movies. Other Spider-Man's movies.
So, here's my thing with Spider-Man. Even though I haven't seen it, Tom Holland is who I would have envisioned as Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield, we pushed that out. That doesn't count. That's like the Star Wars prequels. We don't count that.
Don't bring in Star Wars prequels.
Andrew Garfield has become the Jar Jar of Spider-Man. Tom Holland is that geek that we expected.
He is. So what I will say about this is Tom Holland embodies Spider-Man. The movie itself, I won't go into depth, but Tom Holland's performance was phenomenal.
Which I would have expected based on what we saw in Civil War.
Yeah.
Because with any superhero, and I think you would agree, you're not playing one person. You're actually playing two.
Yeah.
And so it takes a lot for an actor to take these two roles. Tony Stark, he's a whole separate. He's in a category of his own.
Absolutely.
Spider-Man, you have to play both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Yep. Just like Batman, you have to play both Batman and Bruce Wayne.
And we saw really great, in original Batman movies, we saw people who could do Batman really well, and then people who could do Bruce Wayne really well, but not marry the two.
Yeah.
And then Christian Bale came along and was like, boom, there you go. Comparatively.
Comparatively, okay.
Comparatively. I mean, Christian Bale, Val Kilmer. He has his place. Val Kilmer has his place. But
Val Kilmer has more of a place in the Batman being able to hold the cowl than George Clooney.
Agreed. Bat nipples.
Damn you, Barry Allen. It's your fault.
Bat nipples.
Oh. Anyway.
Continuing on.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Still going strong.
Still going strong. It has made a total of $207 million and change, and is going to keep going.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to keep going. Going to keep rolling.
It's a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Third place, Despicable Me 3, third installment. As a father of little girls, I totally relate to the overweight villain because I am an overweight villain to my children. And it works, right? I will say that this is probably one of the better movies of the three. A lot of fun.
Steve Carell's performance.
Yeah, did a really good job.
Really takes, again, kind of going back to the multiple characters, it takes a lot. And I think Steve Carell really did a great job with this.
Absolutely, absolutely. This week it only did 19 million and change. Total though 188 million, which is not bad for this. And it's still going to continue. It's beat out Cars. It's beat out every other cartoon that's come out for a while.
I think the only one it has not beat out, or maybe close, is The Boss Baby.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't remember the numbers. I know Boss Baby was good.
Was it?
It was really good.
I haven't seen it yet, and I hesitate because
Alec Baldwin does a great job.
I love Alec Baldwin. I don't know.
It's worth watching.
All right.
It is worth watching.
It's worth watching.
There you go.
All right. Alec Baldwin's great as an actor. I love it.
It's true.
So, Baby Driver came in fourth. This was kind of the big...
That was kind of the unknown,
a
little bit of the sleeper. If you love action, this is the movie for you.
Rotten Tomatoes had it at like a 98 when it first launched.
That's true, and I think that was about the same as what Wonder Woman was at. So
and it hasn't changed much. It's still in the 90s, I believe.
Yeah, so Rotten Tomatoes has become a pretty good source for being able to tell if movies are going to be good or bad. So, this one, I'm not surprised that it's nowhere near where like Spider-Man is, but I do give it a lot of props for holding its own.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's got Kevin Spacey,
and he's great. No matter what he's in,
he's phenomenal.
Even Superman Returns, he was awesome.
He was. He played a wonderful Lex. That was the Lex Luthor we deserved.
Yes. Although I will support Jesse Eisenberg as Lex for this reason. Early in the comics, Lex Luthor was a crazy, insane scientist. He was not the mogul that Gene Hackman made him to be.
Okay.
Nothing against Gene Hackman. He is Lex Luthor. And Kevin Spacey took what we know and really did a phenomenal job.
Sure.
But when you look at the history of Lex, Jesse Eisenberg did bring that.
All right. Now, fifth on this week's performers is The Big Sick. Now, this had a pretty solid opening weekend. I'm not familiar with the movie.
I'm not either. This is one of those ones, I think I saw the trailer once and I'm like, meh.
Yeah. So the story's about it's a couple, they have problems because they're from different backgrounds. So, chick flick, I guess.
Date night movie.
Yeah.
If
girlfriend,
you can't
boyfriend,
get into Spider-Man or for Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Or one of our other movies that we'll talk about later.
Ooh.
Yes.
But yes. So, all in all, a good strong week for movies. But this next week, though, this is going to be fun because we've got some big movies coming out, and one of which I think is really going to shift the top 5.
Yeah, I think so too.
Actually, 2 out of the 3 I know are going to shift.
Possibly shift. I'm curious, but let's get into it. Our number 1 is Dunkirk. Now, Dunkirk is Allied soldiers from Belgium, the British Empire, and France are surrounded by... It's a World War II movie.
But what makes this one different, and what I'm curious about, is this is being directed by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Who has a impeccable reputation for making amazing movies.
True.
So
True.
You look at some of the movies he's done in the past. The Dark Knight trilogy, The Prestige, Inception.
Yeah. He has a wonderful track record.
He does. This is one, yes, I know it has Harry Styles in it. But Harry Styles is not going to make the movie. the story
Fingers crossed.
and the action, really it's going to be the story and how viewers connect with it.
Yeah.
This will be either a phenomenal movie, and from some reviews I've read, it has that potential, or it's going to be complete opposite and be a total flop.
Yep. Yep. I mean, with Harry Styles, you really only have two choices: great or crap. What I find interesting about this is the movie's PG-13.
You know, that's the one thing I appreciate about Christopher Nolan is he's able to make movies in such a way that you don't have to have the overwhelming violence or sex or language. It's more implied.
I think the implication of those things does make it more intense because you don't see it immediately, but you can still feel the danger. You can still feel the pressure, the arousal, whatever. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be much
you
arousal.
look at the trailer, and the one scene that I remember is, and I don't remember who the character is because I was more excited for the movie I was about to watch. But you can see him underwater, and all you hear are the tracers of the bullets under the water. Yeah. That alone is going to obviously spark some emotional connection. So this one, it's a tough call.
Yeah.
To see how this one will go.
Yeah.
So.
I think that it'll definitely be one to watch for sure. Definitely want to see it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Girls Trip. This is going to be one. A little background. You know, 4 lifelong friends go to New Orleans for a girls' weekend. This is definitely a chick flick.
Yep.
One that when I first saw the trailer, I laughed, thought it was funny, looked at my wife and said, "You get a girls' night. Have fun." Will I personally see it? Maybe when it comes out on Redbox or Netflix. Not one I would personally.
So when I actually saw this the other night, they were promoting it. Queen Latifah was promoting on Jimmy Fallon, and as I was watching it, the trailer made me think this is the exact same movie as the Scarlett Johansson movie that came out a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it did not do well.
You know what I see this being would be, this is the female version of The Hangover.
Yep.
It's the best way to put it. So if you love The Hangover and you want to see Queen Latifah, and she's hilarious.
She is. She is.
Then this will be the movie for you. It's not for everyone.
True.
But then again, what movie is?
Any Muppets movie.
Yes. Space Jam.
Space Jam is for everyone. If you don't like Space Jam, you're a terrible person. Michael Jordan's acting, it's amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
It's amazing.
The rumors that they wanted to remake that with LeBron, no.
No, stop it. Stop it.
No.
Bugs, don't let it happen.
No.
Don't let it happen. Okay, finally, Valerian.
This is one that's, again, if you love action, if you love special effects, this is the movie for you.
It looks beautiful. Now, all of the things that I've seen so far have talked about how breathtakingly beautiful it will be, but they have also talked about the content not necessarily being there, like the story.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know how that's going to play out.
It'll be interesting. I know this is based off of a comic book series. Mm-hmm. And anytime you have any sort of comic book adaptation, you're never going to get everything. Again, much like any others, it's a hit or miss.
Yeah.
And it happens with adaptations. I wish we could say otherwise, that, oh, no, it'll follow it. It's not.
Yep.
It's not how Hollywood works.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at the top 5 as it is, if I were to make a prediction, I would put Dunkirk at the top for the week, and then Spider-Man would still stay at second. I would then put Valerian at third. And then Despicable Me at fourth. And then it's a toss-up. I see Baby Driver hanging on.
Yeah?
I don't see Girls Trip.
I don't either. For me, I think it's going to shift things down. I think we're going to see Dunkirk for the very top. Then we're going to see Planet of the Apes, but it's going to be very close. It's going to be neck and neck with Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man is going to stay pretty strong. I think it's going to still do 35 million or more, and I think Planet of the Apes is going to drop into the 30s.
Yeah.
For sure. Those two will definitely, I agree with you. Valerian is going to be a solid, not a third, but I think it's going to be fourth.
Yeah.
And then I still think that we're going to see Despicable Me rounding out number 5.
It'll be
I think it's going to hold on. There's not a whole lot of kids' movies out there right now.
True. I know kid-wise, I know the Emoji Movie, I think, is the next one.
Yep.
Which I'm excited for. I have kids.
I have kids too, and although the poop emoji.
The poop emoji is my hero.
Yeah. I like that. I might go see it for the poop emoji.
Right?
So.
He may just appear right there too.
Yep.
Oh, gotta love the poop emoji.
So, those are the next week's release, where we think it's going to really be. I'm sure there's a few others that we may have missed, but those are the 3 top ones that we found and wanted to talk about for sure.
The ones that were talked about the most too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely the ones that are being hyped up the most. Now comes to our last part of the show, the last part of our, and we're going to call this segment The Vault. Now, in The Vault, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be talking about movies. Each one of us will provide a movie that we think you should either watch for the first time or rewatch because you haven't seen it in a while. So, what's your pick?
So, my pick, this goes back to mid-90s, if I remember right. Late 90s, Equilibrium. So this was one of Christian Bale's early movies, really before he became Christian Bale. In a world where emotion is just not allowed. The reason it's not allowed is the society believes that that's the cause of war, is emotion. And so anything that creates any sort of emotion is contraband. Paintings, books, music, puppies.
Oh, puppies.
We love puppies.
Who doesn't love puppies?
It's true, who does not love puppies? Either way, any of this is bad. And this society, they live in a very systematic, everyone is equal across the board. With the exception of the father and the clerics, the grammaton clerics. These clerics are the ones that eradicate any violators, those who break the rules. And Christian Bale's character is the top cleric. He is the top badass. If you love action, this is the movie for you. It is one that, if you've never heard about it, you have no clue what I'm talking about. But if you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
A couple other names that were in this, besides Christian Bale, Sean Bean, Sean Pertwee, who, if you're a Gotham fan, we are not. But if you are, he plays Alfred in Gotham. And Taye Diggs was in there too.
Yep.
All in all, it's a phenomenal movie. A lot of great action. And just the story in general was just fantastic. So.
All right. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. But it was one of those that just slipped under my radar as well. So.
It's a must-watch.
Yeah.
It really is. Especially if you like the Matrix-style action, then this is one you'll enjoy.
Yeah. So my pick is Gentlemen Broncos. Now, have you seen Gentlemen Broncos?
I have not.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know Gentlemen Broncos, this is a Jared Hess movie. Now, Jared Hess was the one that did Napoleon Dynamite. He's done a few others over the years. Napoleon Dynamite is really his big hit.
That's his bread and butter.
That's his bread and butter.
That's
Everyone
his bread
knows,
and butter of his checking account.
Yeah, that's really the only movie that he has made a ton of money off of.
Yeah.
But Gentlemen Broncos is about this young fiction writer who's homeschooled in, I think it's Idaho. I don't know, it's a very awkward place.
Imagine that.
Yeah, Idaho being, sorry to all of you Idahoans. Idahoans? Let's go with Idahoans. Yes. But so the story is he takes this fiction that he's written to a fantasy sci-fi weekend, and he finally meets his favorite author, who is played by Jermaine Clement. So Jermaine Clement is the guy, he's the voice of Timatoa from the crab.
Ooh.
From Moana. He's also, I believe, in Flight of the Conchords.
Yes.
And I want to say IT. No, IT.
I remember him from Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah,
He's hilarious.
So he's an understated comedian, very, very funny. And in this movie, he is a failing science fiction writer. And so what he does is he takes this young boy's novel and changes a few things and makes it his own, and then eventually sells it as his own. And then this boy figures it out and calls him on it.
You know what this story reminds me of? If you guys know the history of Batman, and I'm going to say a name that if you know who I'm talking about, you're going to know what I'm referring to. The name is Bill Finger.
Nothing.
So here's a little Batman history lesson. So we know Bob Kane is the creator of Batman. What some of you may not know is the creation of Batman. So when Bob Kane first came up with the concept, it was very crude. And Bill Finger was known as a ghostwriter at that time. And so he really helped Bob Kane kind of streamline Batman into what we know him as now. He is also the creative mind behind Robin, the Joker,
Really?
and Catwoman. For the longest time, Bill Finger's name was not mentioned. Bob Kane would actually go and say, I created them all, this is my creation, as is. It wasn't until later, in both Bob Kane's life and even after he passed, that Bill Finger was actually then given the credit as a co-creator to Batman and some of these characters that we know and love. In fact, Batman v Superman was the first movie that Bill Finger was actually credited as a creator of Batman. Yep.
Hmm.
The last time before that he was even associated with Batman was in an episode of Batman back in 1966.
Wow. Wow.
So this story, going back to Gentlemen Broncos, is going to be definitely one I want to watch.
It's fun.
Especially with the story I just shared with you. I can see a great correlation with it.
Yeah. Now, this being a Jared Hess movie, it is a very awkward movie. There's a lot of slow moments, but just give it a shot. That's my suggestion. It took me about 20 minutes in the movie, which at that point, a lot of people give up.
Yeah.
Especially on a new movie you're not really sure about, but give it a shot. It gets a lot better, a lot.
And I would say the same thing with Equilibrium.
Yeah.
There are parts that are slow, and you're just like, but in order to really experience it, and I'm comfortable saying this about Gentlemen Broncos as well, you have to really kind of sit through the whole movie and experience the whole story to get the full effect.
Yeah.
I think if you don't and you just leave 20 minutes in, you're cutting yourself short.
Agreed. So that's definitely the same with Gentlemen Broncos. Well, that wraps us up.
That's fun.
This has been fun. We're going to be doing this every week before the launch of the next week's movies, so that we can talk about what's coming up, talk about what's just happened. And obviously, with this being our first episode, we are going to have some more updates and changes. The format may change a little bit, but leave a comment in the section below. Let us know what movie you were excited for. Also, let us know what movie you would like for us to watch and maybe possibly review. Okay. So, this has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and
this is the random dude, Josh.
And this has been the Battle at the Cinema.